Did you know that J. Robert Oppenheimer is mentioned in the Bible? Yes, he's mentioned in the Bible. Let me show you where in this video. Now, I usually do not go to cinema much, maybe once in a year or once in 2 years, but this movie, I've seen it twice in the cinema. That tells you a lot about how well this movie is made, and Christopher Nolan has done an amazing job, and there are so many actors in this movie, all of them doing an exceptional job, especially Cillian Murphy playing Oppenheimer. Now, he has played this role so well that many a times he doesn't even need to say much, and only through his eyes and only through his expressions he can convey what is going inside him, the emotions, the dilemma, which is a really difficult thing to do, but it is portrayed and it is shown very, very well in this movie. The movie is about these two trials. One of them is about the security clearance of Oppenheimer after the bomb has been dropped, and it is in the later stage, and through these trials and through these interrogations, his story is told as how he started as a student, and then how he got involved in making the atom bomb, and then the trying of the bomb, or the trial of the bomb, and then later the aftermath of the bomb. And there is this one phrase that comes up twice in the movie, and he has said it himself, and the phrase is from the Hindu scriptures of Bhagavad Gita: "Now I've become death, I've become the destroyer of the worlds." And he himself has said it.
Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds.
And this is the phrase that we are going to look today, and we are going to see where Oppenheimer is found in the Bible. And it is an amazing thing that the exact very phrase that he said it for himself are the exact words that are found in the book of Revelation chapter 11 and verse 18, where it says, "The nations were angry, and your wrath has come, and the time that the dead should be judged, and you should reward the prophets and the saints and those who fear your name, both great and small, and should destroy those that destroy the world." The exact same very phrase that is mentioned here in the book of Revelation, Oppenheimer uses it for himself. So this is the place where he himself mentions that phrase, and he is mentioned in the Bible. And the main scene of the movie is this scene of a conversation between Albert Einstein and Oppenheimer, and this scene is shown twice in the movie, once in the beginning, once in the end. In the beginning, the conversation that happened between them is not shown, but in the end the conversation is shown, and the conversation is about this calculation that one of the scientists did, and he said that when this atom bomb is exploded, it could create a chain reaction that could ignite the whole atmosphere of the world and could destroy the whole world. And he said to Albert Einstein, he showed him this calculation, he said, "What should be done about it?" And Albert said, "Well, do the calculations more, and if it is true, then stop your work and also tell the Germans." And then they did the calculation and said, "Oh, there is a near zero chance of this happening." So they continued, and they did this, and this is what he said, Oppenheimer: "I believe we have done it." He was talking about a different chain reaction in which all the countries, especially Russia, and today 9 countries have this atom bomb. They went in this arms race of creating the atom bomb. In fact, America himself made the hydrogen bomb, which was 500 times much more powerful than the atom bomb that Oppenheimer had created. And Russia did this explosion, the Tsar bomb, in 1961, which was more than 3,300 times stronger or greater explosion than what happened in Hiroshima. The mushroom cloud of that was 4.5 times higher than Mount Everest. Just imagine what power. And that was in 1961. Just imagine what they have today and how many times over they could destroy the world. So God is angry, but the time has not yet come. The time will come. And we could ask God, why don't you just stop this? Why don't you just stop all this misery? Why don't you just stop all this violence and all this war and all this things that are happening in the world? And this could be a same question that the saints asked, and let's see what the answer they got. We find that in the book of Revelation also, in chapter 6 and verse 9 onwards, it says, I saw under the altar the souls of those that had been slain for the word of God and for the testimony which they held. And they cried with a loud voice, saying, How long, O Lord, holy and true, until you judge and avenge our blood on those who dwell on the earth? How long will you bear this, O Lord? They have killed us and they have put us in persecutions and tribulations. Then a white robe was given to each of them, and it was said to them that they should rest a little while longer, until both the number of their fellow servants and their brethren who would be killed as they were was completed. So God said, look, I know you've got through difficulties. I know they have killed you, they have persecuted you, but just be a bit more patient, because the time has not yet come. More will be persecuted. More will be persecuted. Yes, more will be persecuted. The world is going to go through some difficulties, and Jesus himself said it in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 21. It says, For then there will be great tribulations, such has not been since the beginning of the world until this time, no, nor even shall be, and unless those days would be shortened, no flesh would be saved, but for the elect's sake, those days will be shortened. So Jesus himself is going to say that so much of a difficult time is going to come that has not been in the past and will not be in the future as well. But for the elect's sake, it will be shortened. So God knows that it will be shortened means that the days will come to an end. And there will come to a point that God will end those things. But first, the very expression of evil. First, all this violence and all this that Satan is doing through his people. First, all of it will be expressed, and all of that will be allowed to be manifested, and then the end will come. Now, why God is doing that, he has his reasons, and this is a topic of a different video. But first, all of that will happen. So when we are going through these trials and tribulations and war and difficulties, what should we do? And this is a doom and gloom message which we always hear in the news. What should we do about it? Should we be living in fear? Should we be living in stress? Should we be living in this mentality of misery and this mentality of negativity? Not at all, brothers and sisters, because Jesus himself said it. In the Gospel of Matthew, same chapter 24, it says, And you will hear of wars and rumors of wars. See, this is Jesus' recommendation. See that you are not troubled. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not that. So what is Jesus saying? Jesus is saying, all this will happen. Yes, all this will happen, but don't be troubled. It has to happen. These wars have to happen. And in the next verse 7, it says, For nation will rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom, and there will be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in various places. Jesus said this is going to happen. In verse 25 it says, See, I have, and this whole chapter is about this doom and gloom, and Jesus says, See, I have told you beforehand. We will not be surprised when war happens in the world. We will not be surprised when people will try to destroy the world, because Jesus said this is going to happen, and you will not be troubled. Because you are the people of faith. You are people who follow me and know this. that although war is going to happen in the outer world, but in your inner world you will have peace, because I am with you and we will not be shaken. Of course, war is going to affect us, and war affected me as well, because I was born in Kuwait. And in the Gulf War affected us immensely. We lived as refugees, sleeping on the streets in Iraq for 6 months, and it was a difficult path to reach Pakistan from Kuwait by car, and the aftermath of that affected us for years, but somehow we came out stronger. And even now there is a war in our neighbor, as I live in Hungary, and there is a war going on in Ukraine, and it is affecting this country the most, almost the most in the world, because of the aftermaths of this war. But somehow we will not allow war and what is happening outside to affect our inner peace, and we will have this connection. We will have even a stronger relationship with God, because we know that if He is with us, if God is with us, then who can be against us? And we will survive, and not only survive, thrive even in times of wars, and will be a source of blessing to many. I hope this video has been a blessing for you, and if it has, please do like it and share it and subscribe to the channel, so that it will be a blessing to me as well. And I will see you in the next video. God bless you.